Hi, everybody. This is David Nevins for Citybiz. Welcome to our program today. We have a very special guest, and she is Denise Kumani Gantt, the Director of Education with the Lyric Baltimore. Denise, welcome to our program.
Thanks so much for having me, David.
Oh, it's our pleasure, and thank you for your time. So, Denise, I guess I want to start with for decades and decades, our viewers have become, hopefully, very familiar with the Lyric. Some called it the Lyric Theater, the Lyric, formerly the Lyric Opera House, but this fantastic building and that has housed the greatest entertainment events that Baltimoreans have seen, as I said, for many, many decades. So kudos to you and your colleagues on that. But let me ask you this. I think people are far less familiar with the fact that beyond being a stage for great entertainment, the Lyric truly has a commitment to education and offering, I guess, primarily arts education to Baltimoreans. So tell us a little bit about that, which I believe is what you do. So share with us all the great things you guys are doing with education at the Lyric.
So thanks. I joined the Lyric in 2017 with the goal of really changing our education programs to focus on theater and creative writing. Our tagline, what we like to say, is that we support the voice and agency of young people. And when I came, we decided that it was really important to focus on students in the middle grades, 5th through 8th grade, because a lot of programs don't work with that age group. So we do a couple of things. One, we run after-school programs in a variety of schools and community arts programs. Students learn how to do improvisation, how to write their own plays, how to create great characters. We also do something called a Dream Big Contest, which we do every year. It's our homage to Dr. Martin Luther King and his beloved community. And we ask students to think about, what's your big dream for your life, your community, and your school? Students can send an essay or a play, or a poem, or a video, and then the finalists will share their work on the Lyric stage.
So let's continue with that. Tell me a little bit more and tell me about some of the kids and some of your favorite submissions and the impact it's having.
Well, in the first year, we had this student write an incredible essay about wanting to be a lawyer. And she wants to be a lawyer to really help people in her family and her community navigate the criminal justice system. We've had students write about how they want to really focus on the environment. We've had them write about how they want to erase bullying. And as you know, bullying is such a big issue in schools, both in terms of social media and then, what students deal with face-to-face. So they write about a variety of things, and we never really say you have to write about this. But what we're interested in hearing from them is not only their dream, but how they imagine their dream will shape and transform their environment and their world. So that's really the crux of it. And it's a great way also for us to hear what students are thinking about, what they're interested in. I'll tell you, they are incredibly observant. We think they're young and maybe not paying attention, but they're very aware of their world and how they want to make the world a better place for other people and for themselves.
That's so good to hear. So it sounds, the way you're describing it, though the Lyric is clearly essentially an arts organization, the educational opportunities you're offering city kids and others goes really beyond the traditional arts.
Traditional in some ways, non-traditional in some ways, but also very traditional. I mean, theater teaches you some really great life skills that we all need. Teaches you collaboration, teaches you to engage your imagination. And as we know in the tech field, you must engage your imagination to create things that have never existed before. It teaches you how to work in a group, how to sometimes give up your idea, how to be in front of other people, how to convey your ideas. And so from our vantage point, even though students might not work from a traditional script, they are really learning artistic skills and life skills that are incredibly important for them as they grow and move into the future.
That's great to hear. Denise, so in that regard, kind of just share with us your view, which I think I concur with for sure, why it's so important to grow the arts in Baltimore, to grow arts education in Baltimore. And, when I was a kid, arts education in schools was a pretty standard thing. I mean, I remember I grew up in the Washington area, but I remember going to the Kennedy Center on the bus and seeing the orchestra and others, and then having classes about it. I think that's not going on so much anymore due to budget cuts and what have you. So you all at the Lyric have determined it's important to supplement what's going on in the city school system. Is that accurate? And talk a little bit about why and how you're doing that.
It is accurate. And I had the same thing. I actually grew up in Harford County, and I did everything from visual arts to theater to orchestra to chorus. We feel that it's so important because students get to engage different parts of their brain and their social emotional life. And as educators are learning more and more, really dealing with the social emotional learning is as important as engaging in what we call the hard skills, learning math and English and history and what have you. The arts can also be a door for students to explore a variety of careers, a variety of subject matter. There's something called arts integration, where students can explore history utilizing theater or another art form. And so we know that it gives students an opportunity to engage a different part of their brain and their being. And particularly as they are going back into school after the pandemic, they need real, tangible opportunities to be able to express themselves, to have fun. In theater, we say we do plays. And so play and fun is also at the heart of what we do. And to utilize that exuberant energy and to move your body, move your mind, and really expand what you can do. One of the things I love to see more than anything else is a student who says, I don't want to do that. I really don't want to do it. I don't like theater, blah, 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 blah. And the minute they see a work on stage, they light up. And then when they push themselves and then they can actually do that work as well, we all need to have those kind of achievements in our life.
I couldn't agree more, and good for you. So what's next up for the education department at the Lyric, and what are you going to work on? What's your next big project in 2022?
So April 18th will be our Dream Big celebration, which we're so excited about. We'll have our finalists who we're calling visionaries and our honorable mentions who are dreamers, and they'll be on stage and share their work. And it's just a really lovely time. Senator Corey McCray will be giving the keynote address. And then in November 15th, we're having our first student matinee in a very, very long time. It's a partnership with Woundwork Productions. Students will come see the play, which is Mississippi Gantt, and then they will work on their own theater pieces and scenes based on the themes raised in the play. And so those are the major things we're working on. And then continuing our work, working with many more students after school in Baltimore City Public Schools. And
so just in that regard, how do the kids get to you? How do they find you? And how does that all work?
Well, at this point, we primarily work with schools and partners. And we typically will start finding our partners between April and the beginning of the school year. Ideally, we have everything wrapped up at the end of this school year as we move into the fall. But we really like working with partners who want to work with us hand in hand, and partners who really believe that theater is important and creative writing is important. And so we spend a lot of time really trying to find our partners. And we have some partners like the Youth Resiliency Institute and Greenmount West Community Center who have been with us since day one. We are offering 2 digital workshops, online workshops, in partnerships with the Baltimore Office of Promotion and the Arts. They'll start in March, and they are creative writing based, and we hope to be doing more of them with them in the future. But right now, the way that students can connect with our programs are either through the Dream Big essay contest, so that's an individually based project, and then getting more schools on board, working with them after school.
So Denise, how does someone who's watching this learn more and reach out? And maybe it's a parent who wants their child involved, maybe it's the child themselves, or maybe it's an organization or a business that wants to support your efforts. What should they do?
They can reach me personally at dgantt@mdlyric.org. And you can find out more information at lyriceducation.com. That's the education website. And we have information about our programs and what we do, and some really great pictures of students engaged and having a good time.
That's great. And Denise, I think I would be remiss if I didn't give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about yourself, because you've been so convincing and articulate and in telling about and visionary in talking about all the great programs that you and your colleagues have developed under the auspices of the Lyric. But I believe you yourself are an accomplished playwright. You can correct me if I'm wrong. So take a minute and tell our viewers a little bit about your background and maybe how you got to the current position that you have.
Probably don't have enough time. It's not been a straight line. It's been a bit of a circle. But the very short story is I started working at Center Stage in the late 80s. And I was reminded of my love of theater. I ended up going to graduate school at Towson University and getting my MFA in theater. And at that time, I really wanted, I was really focused on acting, but then I began writing. And I found that writing was really the place that I loved, the place that where I could really express myself. And yeah, I've had my work, it's hard to get a play produced, but I've had readings at the Drama League in New York, at ACT in Seattle, and at Penumbra Theater in Minnesota. So I continue to write here and there. I also, right now, I'm really engaged and interested in digital storytelling, which is writing a story and then adding digital images and video to that, which is, again, based in first person. But I've worked with youth for the last 20 years. I love it. They keep me young. And I just think this work is really vital. I mean, I was a kid, even though I did really well academically in school, I was that kid who needed the arts. I needed that outlet. We used to call theater the orphanage, all the little misfit, all the little misfit kids would be involved in theater, but it really saved my life. And I believe the arts do have that power. Art can save your life.
I once again couldn't agree more. And Denise, thank you so much for your time today. And so many of our viewers know the Lyric as this beautiful building, this beautiful structure in the Arts District of Baltimore. And no doubt our viewers have, most of them for sure, have been to the Lyric for any number of entertainment opportunities. But I'm pretty certain that fewer of them knew of the commitment and kind of the behind the scenes work that the Lyric is doing, and mostly you and your colleagues are doing to offer arts education and other forms of education to the children of Baltimore. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Anyway, our guest today has been Denise Kumani Gantt, the Director of Education at the Lyric Baltimore. Give her a call, contact her, support her programs, and/or visit the Lyric and see some great entertainment in downtown Baltimore. You'll be glad you did. Denise, thank you again for your time. And this has been David Nevins for Citybiz List. Thank you for watching.